Hickok 45, your internet shooting companion, and I promise not to sing anymore. Unless it's in 45 caliber. How's that? Or it has a ring of steel. Oh, nice, nice. 45 caliber slugs. How about a 2-liter? All right. I believe that was 5. Yes, your internet shooting companion coming to you from the beautiful hills. Yes, they are in the process of beautifying for us, right? Middle Tennessee, the home. Davy Crockett, Chet Atkins, Alvin York, lots of cool people. And it's a little prettier right now. I'm glad you're here. You're probably enjoying the scenery a little more, right? Actually, depends on whatever season. It is what it is. It's kind of nice, I guess, to have no leaves sometimes. Beautiful fall leaves sometimes. Beautiful spring. And then winter, summer, whatever. Change is good, right? So, glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm back. If you saw the recent FAQ, you know I have been gone. For 10 days, actually. Like I told you in that last Sunday shoot around, I was doing it early and wasn't sure whether I would be here this week, and just wasn't sure I'd be back in time to greet you from the compound this week. So it turns out we are back, and so yeah, here I am standing on hallowed ground again, and always good to get back. Because when you drive almost 5,000 miles, anything could happen. Never know, anything could happen anytime, right? We all know that. Those of us who accept the risk of life, yes, and it really does separate. It's been my observation, at least, that it kind of separates gun owners, shooters, from so much of the rest of the population. And my evidence of that is over the last year, just moving around, because I have moved around pretty much normally in the last year, and it's just been very interesting, very instructive, the difference between going into a drugstore, a Walmart, and a gun shop. It's just totally different the way people act, the level of fear, whether or not you can see their mouth. You know what I mean by that, right? And it's just even more dramatic now. It really is. Because I've continued going into gun shops and different places. Unless they're too strict about whether or not you can breathe while you're in there, then I just stay away. Yeah. It's just different. We know there's risk to life, and we also know when something is goofy and not really based on science. We just sort of know that, don't we? So anyway, here I am, and I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to thank the people. I'll let it load it so I don't scare anybody. All I had in California was my trusty old P365. Now, I'm not saying that's the best gun I have. You know, some of you might think it is. I bet, I just put my hand in front of the muzzle there. I bet SIG would think that's the best gun I have. But, you know, I got my pro grips on it, and I know what I did before I left on the trip. I really did put some thought into that. I'll talk about that a little bit, but this is what I settled on, and this gun, and I had 2 layers of, on this one, as I often do on a grip that's really extra small like this one. I had 2 layers of Talon grips on it, and I took the top layer. It was fine, but the pro grips I like a little better, give me a little more friction, and so I peeled the top layer off, and I put a layer of pro grips on it, the Talon grips, and I still have 2 layers, and I get a little bit better. It just feels good for a small grip, feels fine, okay? Because I knew I was going into California, and so my objective my mission after I did the research on the crazy gun laws in California. I've always avoided California on our trips, but I needed to go this time, kind of. And I said, okay, you got to have, you know, it's got to be 10 rounds. And so, of course, what it is in California was in some ways irrelevant, as long as it's no more than 10 rounds, you know, 10 round mags and that kind of thing, because it's got to be locked up in your car or in your domicile anyway, unloaded in your car and locked up in a box, lockbox and all that. So it's really a matter of what I could carry through the rest of the free world, you know, in Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and all those places, Oklahoma, Arkansas, what I could carry legally and be well armed, the rest of the country, okay, the free country, and then still be you know, compliant, California compliant. So I settled on that. I came close to the Glock 43X, but this one's a little more concealable. I don't know about you, but when I'm out in different states, even though you have the reciprocity and all that, I'm going to go ahead and carry, of course, concealed, but I think a little bit more about being well concealed. And generally around Tennessee, I don't care if I'm printing a little bit. It's not a big deal. But I thought this is a little bit better concealment, and it's, you know, it's 10 rounds, 10 round mag, so I was good. So I was a good boy. I obeyed the law in California and, well, everywhere, you know. And I was, I think, pretty well armed. And I had to clean out my car. That would probably been a good video if you'd seen what magazines I had found and things. You know, I mean, I could have been in jail in California. I found a 33 round mag, fully loaded. I had in there in the boot and in different places, and just different mags. And not because I'm paranoid and I have 12 magazines fully loaded, you know, here and there, high capacity mags. It's I'll have a couple of mags in there because I'm carrying this gun, then I'll change the gun I'm carrying. I always like to have an extra mag, whatever I'm carrying. But now I change guns periodically, and I'll go to a different gun. I need an extra mag for that. Put that in the console or somewhere. So and just buried, you know. And I end up with mags down in there I didn't know I had, you know. So anyway, I went through the entire car with a fine-tooth comb. Took some time. Made sure I had nothing, not even a single bullet, okay, or a high-capacity mag, even if it was empty. I think that's trouble in California. And, just, you know, anyway, so I was ready. I prepared for the trip. So anyway, so let me load this back up. You know, you never know what might transpire just standing here talking to you all. I am out in the woods. I'm in a dangerous wood. Y'all seen these woods? You know how dangerous they can be, right? You've seen a woods walker too. We have to be well armed in these woods. So yeah, and that was real. That FAQ video we did this week, was my wife filmed that, you know. That was right after we crossed the line back into Arizona. That wasn't a make-it-up video that we did when we got home somewhere. I just started looking immediately for a place to get off the interstate and rearm myself. You know. So I didn't want to get shot for lack of shooting back, you know, as the old line goes. And but you know, I'm not paranoid just because everybody really is out to get me, right? I mean, what's the old line? Just because you're not paranoid doesn't mean people aren't out to get you. You know, I'm so accustomed to having a gun, but I don't live my life in paranoia. Maybe I should. But you know, even bounced around California, I wasn't like every minute, oh my gosh, should I get out of the car? Yeah, you know, like that. I just would rather have it in case I needed it. It's kind of like, and I think a lot of people paint us that way. They like to think of gun owners as paranoid Neanderthals or something. It's something that you think about, kind of like, I guess, if, I don't know, if you found out through your insurance company that your payment didn't go through on your car insurance or something, or your homeowner's insurance or some problem, and you're not going to be covered till tomorrow at 6 o'clock, sir, or some kind of problem here with your payment didn't go through, or whatever it might be. I gotta make sure my house doesn't burn down till tomorrow at 6 o'clock, or something like that. It never has. I guess I'm fine, but so I didn't think a lot about it, but I wasn't in dangerous. At least I don't know that I was in danger. Of course, who knows what a dangerous area is? You don't really know. That's the thing. That's what we used to be so funny about, pathetic about the requirements for getting a carry permit. It used to be that you could get one maybe, I'm talking back in the 70s or 80s or 60s or early 90s. You might get a carry permit, but you had to show cause. Remember? Show cause, that like if you were someone who had a business, or you were taking the money to the bank each night from some business, had a lot of cash, you're having to deposit every night or something like that, you could get a permit to carry a gun. Maybe if you had a jewelry store or a liquor store, I don't know, something that was a high robbery, or you could get a permit maybe. And of course, we realize how silly that is. That's you don't know who's coming after you. People get killed at the ATM machines over $40 and are just killed at random for no reason, or attacked or assaulted and that sort of thing. So, but it was nice. I've lost my train of thought. Imagine that. I've been in a car a long time, and it was nice to cross the line, get back into Arizona, and be able to arm up again and just not think about it again. So yeah, here I am, and guess what I've got out? One of my favorites, traveling through the West. You can imagine, I spent a lot of hours traveling through the desert, and just imagining myself as a cowboy out there, enjoy riding a horse through the cacti, and picking off a rattlesnake that was about to get me, right? I really enjoyed traveling out there, and of course went to Tombstone, Arizona. Went through Texas, West Texas, of course, all the way through El Paso, and that gives you the cowboy fever to some extent, right? So I got my old 7.5-inch second generation 1957 Colt single action Army caliber, 45 Colt. Boom, bullseye. How about a red plate? How about another red plate? Nice. The gong is turned sideways. Let me go ahead and see if I can get one on it. It's a little smaller. I could give you a physics lesson, another one of those freebie lessons I often give about why it's smaller when it's turned sideways, but I'll let y'all figure that one out. All right, let's take a couple of shots at it. I might not hit it, really. I'm a little road weary, and my first shots, you saw the first shots. In fact, you saw the first shots I have fired in about, 12, 15 days, okay? So it felt good to shoot again. It always does. How about, I hit that hanging bowling pin. Oh, I guess I won't. There I go, not counting my shots. That's bad, isn't it? Good old 45. It's hard to beat a 45 Colt. Yeah, I couldn't get a connection for something. Now I get one after I did that, but I couldn't play the song for you. That was just something to add to your misery, hearing me singing a little bit. So we'll get it maybe next week. This is just, wow. It's terrible being in Tombstone. Every time I go there, go in some of the shops, and there's one shop that actually has guns, real guns, and some I don't know about any Colt. There's a couple of there, and I see a lot of old West guns there. And, oh man, I'd like to be wearing one of those, and all that kind of thing. Of course, the reenactments going on in the street and all that sort of thing. So it's pretty cool, And it was it's like going back in time, of course, and hardly anybody wearing a mask, even in the shops. You know, so it was like, unless they're coming in to rob it, right? And I was actually going to do the. I hadn't done the OK Corral. They do a, I don't know, a reenactment of it and a, what would you call it? Just a discussion of it. You know, it's a special show. You know, and John and I did that several years back, and my wife was with me on this trip. We were going to do that, and well, we went around, prowled around, and we go in there to it. And as soon as you walk through the door to where you pay, they start giving you a hard time about a mask. And I said, I don't think we need that this time. You know, bye. So, yeah, it's really opened up around the planet in the Free States, and it's really nice. And so I think, myself included, people are having less patience with the silliness, you know, being continued. So I'm not participating much. You know, people can go on with their goofiness, let them do it. Oh man, what else? Oh, I wanted to, before we get too far, somebody had posted, I guess while I was on the trip, I think, I use crazy stuff, you know, being on social media is so much fun, right? Another imposter, using my name, you know, Hickok 45, was posting something about cryptos. You know, get your cryptos from somebody, and they just spammed that all over the place. And I don't know if it's just one video or more, but it's all over the place. And I blocked them and everything, and I reported them. But just to make you aware and remind you again, you're never going to see anything stupid like that from me. I don't care how many websites are there out there? How many forums are there? Thousands at least. If you ever see anything that's supposedly by me, yeah, just, you know, it's probably not. Especially if it's anything that seems odd at all. I mean, I know I'm kind of odd, and I might say things in an odd way, but you're never going to see me like going around the internet trying to sell something or recommend something or insulting anybody. That's just is never going to happen. You all know that. Just be aware of that. You know, or for that matter, if someone says something I said, or just whatever, you know, those crazy, idiotic stuff you see out there. But just be aware of imposters. Like I'm gonna start spamming our channel or anybody else is trying to sell crypto. It's this crazy time. I'm not going to get into politics or any of that too much at all, but it's a crazy week, and in a couple of weeks, I was in the car so much. Heard a lot of news, and I about come to the conclusion that there are so many morons in this country, many of them in power of some sort, you know, or influential in some ways or whatever, that some people listen to or some people pay attention to, whatever. There are so many morons pontificating and showing their stupidity so often now that I think we just have to laugh and ignore. Laugh at it and ignore it. Really. And go on about our lives, creating the best situation we can, making sure we vote. And we stay in touch with our representatives, who might be one of those morons, I'm afraid. But, man, there are people who are beyond help, really. A lot of people. And in a lot of cases, they're not really morons. They just act like it. They know, you know, it's their agenda is what it comes down to. And you're just going to have to ignore them. They're so stupid on so many subjects. It's crazy. Don't let them get you down, okay? Don't let them get you down. You know, in the normal course of events in your day, they're not really there unless you bring them in through the radio and TV, right? They may affect our lives, right? But wow, it's just a crazy world. So I think we need to just try to go about our business and making the world a better place as best we can with what we do, right? Whew. I don't know. I don't know if there's any hope for humanity or not. I planned a trip weeks ago. My wife and I were going to take off. John's watching the compound. and cats, the animals, the raccoons and everything was out here most of the time. But we were planning a trip out west and just travel around, and then got an email that they wanted me to come out to LA, and Fox did, and do a kind of a follow-up on the thing with Tucker Carlson was here. They still haven't aired that, coming soon. And they were going to do a little promo or a little thing for it. When they were going to fly me out there to do that. And I said, well, yeah, we're actually planning a trip out west. Don't normally go into California. Avoid that line like the plague. But yeah, since we're coming that way, you know, I'll figure out the gun laws and work that out maybe. And so we did. Ended up. So that was kind of the destination. Just a small part of the trip, of course. It ended up a little bit bigger since we were going into California, crossing the Iron Curtain, and I had figured out how to stay out of jail and all that. I felt like then I was okay. Well, we went in a day early, crossed over the line a day early from Yuma, and spent some time in San Diego and up through we stayed in Escondido one night, on up into LA, and Beverly Hills is where they put us up and all that, and then up into, because it was right near the Fox studio or the Fox lot, and so that was, you know, part of the purpose for that. And I'm filming this. It's supposed to rain all day tomorrow, Saturday, so I'm filming this on Friday, late Friday, okay? And that's my goal, to have these to be timely. There's still people that are amazed. Well, it look like Sunday morning, just shooting tonight, you know. No, I've told you all this before. I want to do them as close to Sunday as possible, you know, the week of it. And just like the last one I did early in that week, I had to, as we were leaving. But so it's, you know, I do them the week of the thing, and of Sunday, of the Sunday shoot around when it appears, you know, on your screen, right, available. So I'm Friday now, and I know there's it's a little scary because the little short thing that we did there at Fox lot with Tucker and everything, I think it's going to air in a few hours, or I think a piece of that they're going to do. I don't know. So I'm a little wary about it. Let me apologize in advance for anything stupid I said or how I come off. I mean, I can relate to obviously doing things without editing. The one take like this, and almost all of our videos, just one take. Rarely ever do we even start over, unless I get tongue twisted as we're beginning, you know. So I can relate to that, and I prefer that type of video to watch and even to do and everything. It's just a little different when, because Tucker Carlson does kind of the same thing, you know, really. I mean, I think I told y'all when he was here, we went to the show Friday night he did out of Nashville, and the studio invited us to come watch him before they came here on that Saturday, and we did that thing for Fox Nation. And you know, there it is, and just like we do, it's live, and they've got, of course, all worked out, the interviews when they're coming in and to ask questions and the commercials, but it's just live, one take, that's it. And I was impressed because he's doing it in front of whoever, millions of people, and can't restart, can't finish a big segment and say, or anything, a sentence even, and let's redo that real quick, you know, or just be unhappy with a 10-minute interview, and then just redo it. You know, it's live, and so I like that way of doing things. But when we don't have control, like if I do something totally stupid or say something really totally stupid, well, I guess I already do that, right? But if for whatever reason I wanted to redo this or a video, gun video, I could do that, you know? I could do that, even though we don't, but at least I could. At least I can look at it if I want to. We don't even do that much anymore. I have control over it. But, you know, when like they came here, and I still wondering about what I said for that Fox Nation thing, I've no visibility on it. I don't remember what all I said about the AR-15. I know we talked about the difference between that and a select fire and why AR-15s are popular and some different things like that. It's kind of what it was about. And I hope I didn't say anything that it was like wrong or totally stupid or would upset the Second Amendment crowd, my fellow shooters. I don't think I did, but I mean to be inadvertently if I did. And just like what they're going to show, I think tonight, you will have already seen it if you watch Fox, I guess, and if they show it, I don't know, this is Friday, but anyway, I apologize in advance if I said anything stupid or if I mumbled or if it didn't come off well, because there was no didn't redo anything. It was just, that's it. Yep, yeah, good. Everybody, okay, we're finished. So I'm impressed with how they do things. It's just that when you're sort of caught up in it, okay, I didn't have a chance to repeat. I told somebody I was gonna, if I realize I'm saying something stupid or incorrect or whatever that I feel like isn't going to come off well at all, I'm just going to start cursing real quick, so I'll have to redo it or something like that. But anyway, that's why we went into California. And again, I know some people don't like Tucker Carlson. I happen to like him. I told you before, no apologies for that. I like him a lot. I like Greg Gutfeld. I really do like those individuals. Rand Paul, some of my favorite people, okay? But if you don't, that's fine with me. Everybody's welcome, and I respect your opinions. I respect your politics, the whole 9 yards. I'm basically libertarian, and individual freedom is my thing. I'm old school on that, and I really am. I mean, I've always been more libertarian. I'm talking, I'm old enough to where I could have been maybe I am, a crusty old, obnoxious, far right winger, like some people like to say, that hates everything, hates everybody, and even wants to control your life. There have been people like that too on the right. Now it seems to be a left thing. But I've always wondered why people get so upset with people like smoking marijuana. I don't do it because it's not legal. But I've always wondered why that was such a big deal. I can go get all the liquor I want today and get drunk every day if I want. I've always thought that doesn't seem consistent. And I've always wondered why people are so upset about people with different sexual orientations. Even my whole life I've thought that's kind of weird. People kind of have natural inclinations. And some people, like chocolate ice cream or white ice cream or vanilla ice cream, white ice cream, vanilla, otherwise known as vanilla ice cream, and you don't even know why you prefer it and whether. Anyway, I won't get into all that, but I've always been, I think, fairly open-minded about things that don't matter, that shouldn't matter. Do your own thing, just as long as it doesn't affect me, I don't care, So I think I've always been just innately a libertarian, So whatever you think, it is great with me, and it doesn't even matter what I think about it, right? Just like it doesn't really matter what other people think about what I think, So, but anyway, it was cool on the Fox. I thought it was just at the like here when they did the thing at a studio in Nashville. I think it was, I don't know if it was owned by the local Fox affiliate or what it was. I think it was, or rented by them or something when he did his show. And I thought that's what it was out there. I thought it was going to be at the Fox, local Fox affiliate in L.A. And no, it was at the Fox lot. And that's what they said. So it was actually at Fox out there where they make the movies, whatever, Modern Family or something. I'm not familiar with some of the shows that were done there. And we actually went into the building. And we filmed out on the lot outside. But very interesting, very interesting. Oh, the cameras and people and how all it comes together. But we went into the building first and went upstairs, I think in some room. Thought we were going to maybe have to wait up there for a little while, and then we didn't stay long. But I got to realize, oh yeah, okay, this is where you hear me talk about Colin Cowherd, whom I watch or used to watch a lot. But that's where the Fox Sports Station and everything is, where they film all that. And of course, it was on a Sunday, so nobody was around. But that was pretty neat, pretty interesting, and a first-class operation. I have to say, everybody that works with Tucker Carlson and the original, what do they call it, the new things he's doing and all that, just top-notch people. I've been around a while. You might not agree with him or not like him or whatever, but most of you do. I hear from you all the time. Again, first-class operation, first-class people, from the producers, all the camera people, and wow, the folks that we're in direct communication with, just incredible communicators and keeping aware of everything. Now, when I see what they show, I might change my mind. I told Tucker that, I've told him twice, I think, so look, when you're here, there's still a water bottle over there sitting on a barrel that you drank out of. You drank. Your water bottle is still over there. Yeah, I've been saving it, because if what you all filmed makes me look bad, guess what? That water bottle is getting dropped at a crime scene. The first really juicy crime scene that comes along, it's going to get dropped there. With your fingerprints on it. Anyway, enough on that. We had a great time. And let me shoot again. There are a few highlights. We went to the Yuma Territorial Prison. That was really cool. And guess where it is? Yeah, Yuma, Arizona. Some of you have been there. One of your viewers, maybe you're watching right now. Good to see you. Met you there at the prison. Fortunately, you were not in a cell. You were just touring it like we were. So appreciate you watching. Appreciate you showing up there. I knew you'd be there. That's why I chose to go to the Yuma Territorial Prison on that day at that time. I'm really bad. I'm really smart. I tell viewers that all the time. I shouldn't give that away. When I run into people various places, sometimes I'll just say, yeah, how you doing? I knew you'd be here at this truck stop, and that's why I'm here. I'm so bad. I'm so bad. Let's kill some 2-liters. How about that? Man, this gun is nice. Click. Yeah. Yeah, it is nice. It's a keeper. I think I'll keep it. Well, I guess I have for how long? 20 years? I don't know how long I've had this one. 15, 18, I'll look it up. Maybe I'll get an opportunity to do a 20-year anniversary with it, right? So pretty cool. Yeah, we went to give you a run. It's kind of like the old joke about the coming back from a vacation and then getting your family in the living room and putting up the projector screen, and you show them the slides, vacation slides, and nobody wants to see, and they're all bored. And and then here's the beach that we were eating at the, and everybody's like, okay, right, move on. But yeah, we drove through Memphis, Arkansas, and Texas, and to West Texas, through El Paso. It's a long drive if you've never driven through Texas. Believe me, it's a long way from Dallas to El Paso, or Texarkana to El Paso. But it gets to be pretty country. And didn't stop in Dallas or anything. We can go to Dallas anytime, kind of the way I look at it. I'm just such a genius, really. I think about these things. Like, if you're going to California, you're driving through Arizona, New Mexico, and all, you're going to be in California, unless you're out for a month or what you want to do. To me, we can be in Dallas in day. We could leave early in the morning and be in Dallas for dinner without too much trouble, okay? So it's a good place to go for a couple days trip, 3 days, San Antonio, whatever. If you're going to be in New Mexico, Arizona, Tucson, California, those are the places that are hard to get to. It takes a lot of time. If you're driving, it takes a lot of time to get there. So my philosophy is spend your time out there. You've taken the time to get there. rather than stop and eat 3 different restaurants and spend time in Dallas or somewhere, spend that time in California. You went to all this effort to get there. You may not get back there as often, okay? And so that's kind of what we did. So we mainly drove until we got into New Mexico, Arizona. And then once, the way I feel, and the way we do it usually, John and me or my wife and me, is when we get to, that was the first time she'd been through a lot of that area, is once I get to feel like Deming, New Mexico, I always end up staying in Deming, New Mexico, because it's kind of a 2-day drive into there. And then the next day, all right, now we can relax. It's a couple, 3 hours to Tombstone, and about an hour up to Tucson. If you want up another hour and a half, whatever it is, to Phoenix, around that area, then you're out there. And you don't have to do a 12-hour day driving. You can see things. You've made it. You paid the price, the dues, or you got to drive for 2 days to get there, right? And then this time we went to, through, I had not been to Yuma before. And it's not on the way anywhere except California or Mexico. And so we, went through Yuma, and like I say, that prison was really cool. And then I got out of the car and made sure I had my gun unloaded and all that and locked in the box, and we crossed the line. We went into San Diego. And pretty drive across there. That's a drive I'd not made into Southern California. I had been to San Diego before, and I'd been to LA a few times, and San Francisco back in the 80s, mainly 90s, but always flown in. And I had not really driven through California other than the coast and up, between, around LA area mainly. And so it was kind of neat to drive through there on the way in and the way back. But it was funny. We drove into San Diego, and it was getting, I don't know, 4 or 5 o'clock, 6. We were about to try to figure out where we were going to stay and locate a hotel. My wife did it, but it was downtown. Didn't realize it. And it was really right downtown. And pulled up in there, and it was no place to hardly park. You get around to check in. I thought, I don't like downtown hotels generally if I'm driving. And I said, let's get out of here and look at the map again, see where we want to stay. Maybe we'll head up towards LA. In some small town, we'll find a place more accessible. And that's how we ended up in I don't forget the name of the town. But so anyway, we're getting out of there, and we're still downtown, and we're pulling out onto whatever street, and so let's pull up here. And it was kind of a condo, still downtown, but it was a kind of condos, apartments or something, and there was a parking slot. I guess it was a parking slot, and I said, let's just pull in here and look at the map real quick. I want to get out and put my shirt on. It was getting chilly or whatever. And so it was funny. We pulled into this lot, this one parking space, and these high-rise apartments or whatever, condos, and there was a guy coming out of a door I noticed just out of the corner of my eye to walk his dog, and I got out, and I got in the back door open, I got my shirt on, all that kind of stuff, and I had the door open, and my wife said, that guy seems to know you or something, and I guess he was staring at me, and so I looked over, and he was looking at me, and I said, hi, how you doing? And he said, Hickok? It was funny, and I said, yeah, how you doing, like that. And I think he said, you need help, or are you lost, or yeah, he was really perplexed that I was there in his front door. And I said, no, I came to see you. Like I said earlier, no, I just came to see you, something like that. And so I thought it had to be kind of weird from his perspective, since he knew who I was, and the coincidence of that, too, that I pull up to his front door, he comes out to walk his dog, and there I am. And so whoever whatever your name is, hi, again, sorry if I was being too silly, but just the coincidence of that. I mean, for me, it's not that big a coincidence, but probably for him, comes out and there I am. If he knows who I am, I'm at his front door, and telling him that I came to visit him. So, I mean, for a split second, it's almost believable, I guess, because there I am, there's the evidence. It's funny. So I'm sorry, I just have too much fun with you guys when I run into you. But so we did that. We went up, stayed in, I can't think, I said it a minute ago, earlier, not Encinitas, whatever the name of the place is. And then we went on up to the LA area the next day, and that was great. That was great. It was a great trip. So I'm going to thank quickly, so I don't have to show you the slides that I made a note. We had a lot of fun. We went Tombstone, and the saguaro cactus, the national park. And my wife was just fascinated by that. She had not seen that. Actually, we drove up to where old Tucson was, even though it's closed, because I knew that was just a really scenic drive, and all the cacti, the saguaros. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful. So we drove up through there, and of course we in Tucson, around in there, showed her some sights there she hadn't seen, and went over to the prison we saw. I told you, San Diego. The Pacific Ocean is out there too. That was pretty cool. Didn't go swimming. Went up to Venice Beach, and I showed her that area. We were looking for a place to eat, and we found a place there. It was relatively open, but it was the pier right there on the ocean almost. And again, hi to the viewer I saw there that's sitting there eating as we came in. What else there? And then of course LA. They didn't really spend much time in LA proper. We were staying up in Beverly Hills where the hotel was that they booked us, and hi again to the viewer that was sitting out on the wall as we walked by. It was funny, and I thought, I'm sorry, I thought you were a homeless guy. You were about to ask for something, and it was a viewer. What else did we see? Man, we drove all around that area. Went up to Burbank, and it was a gun shop we went in. I wanted to specifically look up a gun shop to see what gun shops were like in California, knowing the restrictions and problems that y'all have out there. And as it turns out, I understand there was one right close to us. I don't know why I didn't see that one, the Beverly Hills Gun Shop or whatever it was called. It was closed on the Sunday when I was there when I found it. But I went to Burbank. We drove up there, and it was called Guns Direct, I think. There were 2 or 3 there on one street, more or less. One of them had people lined up, and everybody's all masked up, and you go and have 3 or 4 in the shop at a time or something, and all that. And so I went on to another one. There was just one person waiting. I said, well, I'll wait and go in, and I did. And Guns Direct, yeah. So it was good talking with you. Had a viewer in there too, but it was interesting to do that. Nice folks in there, and they had some guns. Yeah, really did. You got your restrictions to deal with out there, but I didn't stay too long. There were people on the sidewalk. When I came out, there were 5 or 6 people lined up, and so I didn't want to stay too long, and because I wasn't going to buy anything, and unless it be a magazine or something, and hold up other people that were dying to get in there, because there's a run on the gun shops if you didn't know that. So, and we went to the Meteor Crater in Winslow, Arizona, by the way. That is really neat. If you've not been there, I don't see a lot of publicity for that. Like you mention that to people, and they don't know about it. It's really not far off the interstate out. I think it's between Flagstaff and Winslow, closer to Winslow, I guess, on I-40, off I-40. And it's just a few miles south. There's a special exit for it, I guess, yeah. And so it's south of I-40, I don't know what it is, 8 or 10 miles, I don't remember. It is worth going to. Yeah, you definitely want to do that, okay? It's called the Meteor Crater Landmark or something, I don't know. There's not a lot of them like that out there. You can find it, but I highly recommend that. We were going, one reason I'm back earlier, we were planning to spend a day almost just going up to Monument Valley, and my wife was not seeing that. And luckily I checked. We were in Flagstaff, and I said, well, let me check, make sure it's open. It's like 2.5, 3 hours up from Flagstaff, and was thinking about even staying up there closer to it and make it easier to go visit it the next day. But all the Navajo reservations, everything was closed. They said until further notice. And I was like, well, I don't know. I could probably drive by and the main road and see a lot of it, of course. But I don't know. I wanted to go in there and drive around the dirt trail around the monuments. So we skipped that. But that's another thing. That's why I wanted her to see that. I mean, you need to see Monument Valley. I put it above Grand Canyon myself. No pun intended. It is higher elevation, right? But it's just an amazing thing. We did an check the FAQs out sometimes. If you haven't, you should have checked all of them out. We did an FAQ there, I don't know, probably back in the number 40 or something. No, that's right. It was 54, is that it? Yeah, because it was how to search a YouTube channel. And did it up there and did a Shooting the Breeze, I guess, back when I was doing Shooting the Breeze. It wasn't the radio shows. It was one of the Shooting the Breeze videos I did there in front of in Monument Valley as well. So we have 2 videos that were done right there. Just that background, couldn't resist. I was going to do this at Monument Valley. Okay, so I didn't think we'd be back in time anyway, and I was just going to set up. I had the camera, the tripod you're looking at, the camera you're looking at in the car, and was going to do that. I was looking forward to that. I wouldn't be able to shoot, or flash guns around, but that's just one of my favorite places on planet Earth. I have some favorite places on other planets, but that's my favorite place on planet Earth. And so anyway, that's, gosh, what else? I don't know. We had a great restaurant in Fort Smith, Arkansas. One of the servers, thanks for watching. Oh gosh. I went to, stopped at Mag's Indoor Shooting Range in Moriarty, New Mexico. In fact, John and I stopped there about every trip that we go through there. So anyway, we'll say hi to all the people that we met again, and I'm glad you came up and said hi. You folks some of the 4 or 5 of you on the crew at the shooting at Fox lot. I appreciate y'all watching, appreciate everybody. And it's good to see faces, because I don't see your face right now. So it's always neat to run into people out there and around in other states. It shows me that the internet actually works, in California and other states. It's proof to me that the internet gets out there, even to Kentucky, right? At least parts of Kentucky. Can I shoot again? So anyway, I won't bore you with the slides from the show, but that's one thing I hadn't done yet, have I? I'll put maybe some of the pictures. I'm bad about taking pictures, especially video. I never take video, it seems like, but I got some photos. I'll do a Facebook posting of some photos maybe. But as I've said before, if you have not been able to take a driving tour of the West, I highly recommend it. I can't believe I didn't do that back in the 70s or the 80s. I could have probably worked it out when I was teaching, in the summer. It was expensive, but I could have worked out, planned for it and done exactly, that. Go out for 2 weeks and just drive all through the West. Wow. I mean, to me, do that before you save up to go to Europe or something. It's going to be expensive because it's a lot. Unless you got a camper or something, or one, you got lots of nights in motels, of course, and a lot of gasoline, a lot of wear and tear on your car, and all that. But it is money well spent, because every mile, once you get, I'm not going to make fun of Arkansas or Tennessee or Oklahoma or even parts of Texas, but once you get out into the West, you got to drive for a day and a half, 2 days. Then every mile is another postcard. It just really is, and you don't have to even get out of the car if you don't want to, and you're going to have a great trip. Just seeing everything. It changes, like every couple of miles, it's different kind of scenery or another huge interesting landform of some sort, and you can see it all so clearly without, all these leafy trees in the way. You want me to try the gong again? Yeah, I figured you did. All right. How about a bowling pin? Quick. And I tell you, I was afraid I wouldn't be very steady after all that time in the car, and didn't fire any shots. So, just old Colt single action just fits your hands so well, so well. Yep, I should have worn my cowboy hat the whole trip and carried this, 2-gun rig, just open carry, an old Colt 45. I think that's perfectly legal in Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. Used to be. So beautiful guy. It's illegal in Tennessee. I guess I just don't do it. One of these days, that's what I'll do. I'll pretend I'm really Bill Hickok, and I'll just wear a cowboy hat and Western clothes and a couple of Colts, and just everywhere I go. You never know. And they'll put me in the loony bin because I'm confused by who I am, right? I think I'm really Hickok, Wild Bill Hickok. So what else did you want to hear about the trip? I'll tell you, it's really interesting getting out there and seeing the difference from city to city and state to state in terms of how much COVID obsession there is. The face diaper obsession really is very interesting. Very, very, very good to get back into this part of the country. New Mexico is one that gets me. I understand California. I tell you, New Mexico, I felt like I was still in California in so many ways, restrictions, and I don't know, it's the fear. But Arizona's not too bad. Of course, Arkansas and Texas. People are really kind of going about their business almost normally in Texas, Arkansas, Tennessee, as time passes. And it was really like going back in time, getting into California. It was going back in time. It was, wow. People, almost everybody on the street, is all covered up, and except for me. Just really odd. I don't know. It's just strange, and y'all know that. But thankfully, in most of the free world, the free states, things are getting back to normal, and I think people are genuinely tired of it not being normal. And you're seeing the pushback. You're seeing a lot of pushback, and it is real, and it's from a lot of people. So things are going to definitely get better, no doubt about that. What else was I going to yak about? Anything? Leave me alone, bugs. Leave me alone. Well, what else here? I don't know. I didn't really make many notes. I knew I'd talk too much about the trip. I'm sorry. Like I say, look at the difference out there since the last time you saw me on a Sunday. Of course, this happens fast, even though the last Sunday shoot-around was earlier in the week, and now we're late in the next week, because I was gone 10 days. It doesn't take long once the leaves start coming out. My bamboo is growing, or the new shoots coming up fast. If I hadn't told you I'm a bamboo, I got bamboo around a border. I'm trying to get more privacy, and I'm always celebrating when new shoots come up. And last year, a lot of the new ones died. I think it must have frozen or got cold or something after they started up. This year, I think they're going to survive, knock on wood, cross my fingers, and got quite a few really healthy big ones coming up, so that's good, because every one represents more of like a screen, the privacy screen's great. that lasts year through the years. The thing I like about it, you know, when all these leaves are off the trees, you know, it's like they're not even here almost. With bamboo, there's this thing such as evergreen trees. Some of you might know about those, like cedars and pines, that they're the same year round pretty much. You know, bamboo's the same way. So it makes a good fence. So anyway, do I have any advice for kids? I don't know. Gosh, do I? I think it's the same advice I give to everybody. I started out with ignore the morons, ignore the idiots. Don't ignore them. Think about things yourself, and know that a lot of the moronic statements, tweets, postings are based on an agenda where they want to ignore reality or ignore common sense, okay? And maybe their brain is not quite as low IQ as it appears, but it doesn't make any difference. They say just crazy and stupid things, ignore reality, ignore statistics. It's the same in, of course, the gun control argument, right? Whatever. So it's the same people ignoring reality. So, you know, what do you expect? And then when you add the agenda to that, it's come off dumber sounding, you know, than ever on all topics, you know, on all topics. So, whew, boy, if you're a young person, I don't know, grow a backbone really as much as possible, and refuse to be overly influenced by even your peers or people that just make you want to say, what are you claiming? What? You know, trust your own judgment. Get smart, read, think about things, and trust your own judgment on things, and question. Just question things, really. Don't just question to be contrarian and you know everything better than anybody else. Everybody else is stupid and you're not. You know, or to take the contrarian view to seem smarter, or to get attention. You know, I mean, don't do it for that reason, but do just question things. Wow, think about things. So many sheep in the world, so many sheep. It's really sad. You see it in every area. You know, whether it's you know, politics, of course, social media, and yeah, even gun videos. I mean, there are so many morons on this planet that I think I'm just going to become one of them. That way, they won't bother me as much, right? Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Your wish has been granted, Hickok. Yeah, your wish has been granted for a long time. You are one of them. Now, I appreciate y'all watching. I'm going to let you go. And next week, I promise not to have the entire show my vacation slides. Some of you are thinking, what's a slide? Yeah. Well, you know, slide. Let me kind of shoot 5 more times. Yeah, wow. Yeah, you know, photography used to involve printed out pictures, right? And slides, you've seen slides. They were less expensive. That's one reason so many people have a lot of slides. I still got some. And you could take more pictures. Let's see, it was just cheaper to have a slide made. I can't remember how much cheaper. Let's like it's half as much maybe to have slides made. And plus, you could project them on the wall. So that way the slide could be big, you know, and all that. So, and clear, you know, and so there was an attraction of slide. It's kind of neat. And so that was why people, if you went on vacation, you would take, it's how where that line comes from. The joke is you would be able to take more pictures for less money. And on vacation, you tend to take a lot of pictures. So you come back with, you know, 100 pictures or 200 pictures, slides of your vacation. And there's no way to show people unless you talk them into coming over and set up the projector and you show them the slides, because you can't just hand, there's a picture I took, you know. And so that's where that comes from, you know, the old vacation slide, the Gatlinburg slides. Around this neighborhood, we see a joke about the Gatlinburg slides. Come on over, we'll show you the Gatlinburg slides, you know, because a lot of people take a vacation in Gatlinburg. That's in the Smoky Mountains. So that's where that is. So anyway, I thought some of you might be interested in some of those places. If you're out that way, and there's several that I didn't, obviously there are 1,000 places I didn't get to in 10 days, covered a lot of ground, and actually had a pretty nice trip, actually seeing things, in addition to just the scenery. If you don't stop anywhere, it's a beautiful trip, beautiful. One thing I didn't mention was the Oklahoma City. We stopped, it was the last place I guess we stopped as tourists. The Oklahoma City bombing site, the building, the Murrah building. Because I heard some people talking about that, how the memorial was really well done. And so we stopped at that. It was really, really sad. Yeah, but really well done. Really well done. Very, very impressed. We toured that. So just amazing, And it's a real tearjerker too if you go there, because there were like 17 children killed in that, and adults, and have all the things, I guess, like 9/11 museum and different places, the Holocaust museum, all those places. Just wow, you can't believe people would do this. And they have like the shoes of the kids or toys that belong to those kids there, and piles of keys that they found, and the different things in the rubble and all that, and how the city dealt with it and everything. So that was 1995 that happened. I remember that well. Some of you are too young to maybe know what I'm talking about, hardly. Again, things mean more to you when you live through them, of course. But I remember watching that as it was just happened, on a TV in my classroom. We had TVs that for a while we had actually news programs, channels that we could tune into. And I remember in that old classroom that day, and then like when Waco happened, and 9/11, different things, being able to turn that on, like between classes especially, and different things, and keep up with what was happening while I was at work. So the kind of deal where you remember where you were, when it happened. I kind of remember where I was the last time I filmed this too. I kind of remember, I kind of know where I am right now, so I'll kind of remember where I am when I'm filming a Sunday shoot around too. I'm standing in the woods, right? Yeah. So I'll let you go, and I'll shut up. And gosh, if I rambled about a lot of things today, and I was going to shoot 5 more. I got it loaded and empty chamber under the hammer. So let's fire these before I let you go. I guess I won't shoot the target since it blew off there. Yes, I will. Don't let that stop me. You know who? I keep doing this. I have a Colt single action Army Peacemaker, and I haven't shot the cowboy. That's pathetic. Now he's been shot, and there I go, assigning gender. But yeah, I got him. Big 45 Colt slugs. Hard to beat. Hard to beat. Big old Colt. Yeah, this is a perfect ending to a trip through the West, is to come home and shoot my Colt 45. Hard to beat. Yeah, good old Western. Well, it's not just a Western revolver, but we think of it as a Western revolver. And more of them were carried in the West probably than in the East, than in New York City maybe. So, and that's one of my favorites, this old 7.5 incher, because you've seen this before. I put lost the medallion, the Colt medallion on that side. On this side it fell out somewhere and lost it. And so I just took the head of a 45 Colt slug, I cut it off and put it in there. You notice the primer, there's still, I think I killed the primer. It's been a lot of years, but I soaked it in all kinds of things to make sure it was dead. Yeah, after I cut it off and all that, and then I just stuck that in there, glued it in there. So pretty appropriate, huh? Pretty cool, huh? Pretty good idea. I'm an artist, didn't even know it, right? So that's a nice, and this one shoots right on. Sometimes they shoot high, Colt single actions, more so than left or right or low. It seems like I think they're almost designed to shoot a little bit higher. But this one is right on the money, okay? I know exactly where it's going to hit, and it's going to hit wherever the sights are, right? So, all right, now I'm home. Now I feel better. I shot my one of my favorite Colts, so life really is good. So I will let you go, and what's coming up, I don't know. I hope I'm not going anywhere for a little while. As much as I enjoyed that trip, this morning I went up and got my car serviced. Every 5,000 miles, I get it oil changed and the tires rotated. And it's funny because I had that done just before we left, a few days, I think. And so here I am back. It's like, what are you doing back? Well, I've covered a lot of miles. And I'm easy to impress, but I just continue to be impressed by the genius of modern vehicles, because I go back to a time when I remember on vacations and things, maybe the car overheating, a 56 Buick, Dad's or whatever, different things, just to be able to cruise along at 80 miles an hour, 85 miles an hour, speed limit's 80, 75, and you're cruising along a lot of the trip out there at 80 or 80. I fudge a little bit, maybe 83 or something. That's fast enough for me. For hours and hours, for almost 5,000 miles, and cars just hum along. Nothing special, just a GMC Yukon. It's just really nice. Knock on wood again. Because I've been out there a lot of times in the last 8 years, and same experience. Nothing overheats, not really had any problems, have I? So much as a flattering. They had a rock hit the windshield, a little bad ding on one year in New Mexico, but it's just really nice to be. And that's one of the luxuries that I have these days. I guess my life, I have a lot of guns, so I have that luxury, but I like to keep a nice car, a newer car. It's not too old, so that I can do that. You gotta get 150, 200,000 miles on one, which is the way I used to run cars. I'm not as confident about taking off, California in it. Most of them will do fine, but I'd rather at least not have two strikes against me. And any of them could break down. They go buy a new car tomorrow and not make it 100 miles. But anyway, I'm just so impressed with vehicles and how the technology has come along on those, and the reliability. Like if you were alive back in the 50s and 60s, 70s, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, they weren't junkers back then, but it just seemed like you're more likely to have a problem or an issue, somewhere along the way. But they have come along. Even the American cars, is really what I'm talking about. Because I was kind of away from American cars. I always had an American pickup truck, seemed like. But I've gone through Toyota, the Honda Element, just cars that have such an incredible reputation for longevity and reliability. Like Toyota or Honda and Volvo. Actually, I had more trouble with my Volvos. I had Volvos back in the 80s. I had more trouble with those than I've had with American cars recently, So anyway, it's that technology is just amazing to me still. Just the plain old engine and just all the moving parts you have and all that driving and that speed, that the heat, and the friction doesn't get to parts that, it's almost as amazing as a space shuttle, in some ways. So I'm gonna let you go. I got a weird reflection there. No, it's working. Oh, we're still recording, unfortunately for you. So I'm gonna let you go. And again, I apologize for anything you see with me in it. If it's rather stupid, I don't know. I just, like I said earlier, I prefer doing things this way, uncut, kind of what comes to mind. It's just that when you sit down and you're not even sure what someone's going to ask you, and it's the same way, and it's uncut. It'd be like if I invited one of you to, in a way, to come and like right here. And won't you come over to Sunday shoot around? I'll just ask you some questions, okay? And you know, we're not going to redo it, but just whatever you say, that's there. And oh, you want to see it? Well, no, you'll see it when I post it. You know, so, no, but I mean, I'm not criticizing that. That's the way I like to operate, and it's just funny how that works. If I were doing this in front of millions of people, like every day or something, and that kind of pressure, I would, wow, that's impressive. That's impressive, because most of you, you know, what's like, you've probably been, most of you in your job, your business, whatever you're in, there's times when maybe you have to address the company, or maybe you're not the CEO, but you are doing a presentation, and it's kind of important, or whatever it is. Maybe go talk to your kids' class about something. I don't know, whatever it is, and it kind of needs to be right. You don't want to come off as a dummy, and so you know that feeling, you know, not nervousness, but a little apprehensive, okay, and then not have control over it. You know, once it's said, and once it's taped, and and so, okay, here we go. But I should be the last person who would worry about that sort of thing, right? I mean, look at all the content we've done, and all the different hours, many hours I have spent yakking about nothing. You know, so why would I worry about saying something stupid? It doesn't make sense. So I appreciate you all watching and coming along, and hope you enjoy the videos I've been posting, and we're going to post some more and make you watch them. Yeah, I do. It seems like the algorithms are weird lately. I don't know what, you know. Yeah, who knows? But just I guess make sure you're still subscribed. We do 3 or 4 videos every week, and we're always here. And so come back, check on us if you're not getting notified. We are here, and hope to be here for a long time. Life is good.